Today is Are You OK Day here in Australia, but it can act as worldwide. But just so you know that's what we will be talking about in this video. So if you're feeling a little sensitive as far as mental health goes, just be aware of that and make your decision in the time and space that you choose to listen. This isn't going to get too heavy, but I just wanted to check in with that. Are You OK Day is a day that was created to bring awareness around mental health, more specifically around depression and suicide. So the intention of Are You OK Day, I'm reading directly from the website at the moment, is to inspire and empower everyone to meaningfully connect with the people around them and start a conversation with anyone who may be struggling with life. You don't need to be an expert to reach out, just a good friend and a great listener. And it states to use these 4 steps to have a conversation that could change a life. Step 1 is ask, are you okay? Step 2 is listen. Step 3 is encourage action. Step 4 is check in. So for those different things that can show up, the reason that these steps are so important is that often in a lot of cases with suicide, there are cases where no one knew that there is an issue. No one knew that someone was feeling down or alone or whatever they were feeling. And the intention is to open up the conversation and normalize actually checking in with people and saying, are you okay? What's actually happening? You'll find that a lot of people in an attempt to make light of it and to bring awareness around it will just kind of make it a light thing and be like, oh, are you okay on the day? Which is powerful. It's more powerful than not doing anything, for sure. You'll also see other people on the other end of the spectrum who only talk about how we should be asking, are you okay, on more than one day of the year. These are the people that I imagine would probably hate Valentine's Day for the same reasons, because why do you need a day to declare your love for someone? It's a reminder. It just normalizes things. That's all. So neither are wrong, but the important thing is when you ask someone to practice listening, not to overlay your experience when they respond, to ask questions and be curious. Another important thing to remember and to be aware of is that not everyone will want to talk or feel able to talk. A lot of people don't want to be a burden to other people by sharing what it is that they might be going through. Maybe they don't feel safe to. There can be so many different reasons why that would be the case. And that's something to be aware of as well. If you are asking it in a light way, like making light of it, this might indicate to someone who actually is going through some troubles that that you're not actually taking it seriously. So they won't share because they know that you're just being light about it and you're just going through the process. So it's really, and it does go beyond the day as well, but I am a big fan of using these days as reminders to normalize things or to celebrate things or whatever it is that we are doing with the day, so that we can have that influx of attention on it again and again and again, as many times as we need to, so that way we can ask on days beyond Are You OK Day. We can check in with people and say, maybe it's not are you okay? Maybe it's actually asking more of an open-ended question if you feel capable of holding the space for that. So instead of asking are you okay, which lends to a yes or no answer, it could be, how are you going at the moment? Or what's going on for you at the moment? And it doesn't mean that someone has to have something wrong be going on or what they feel like is wrong to be going on, but it just actually lets them answer and lets them respond how they feel they want to respond. It lets them give detail to the response of, oh, well, you know, with COVID, I've been feeling this and I found the struggle. And even if they respond lightly, you can still kind of get more of an idea of how someone is going by asking that. And listening. And one of the listening skills that I teach, that I learnt, is to feedback. So listening, not to overlay your story, again, not to jump in and interject and be like, oh yeah, me too, when this happened the other day. It's an opportunity to listen and then feedback. The most powerful phrase I have ever learnt when it comes to communication and listening is, what I'm hearing from you is. So you could feed it back, you don't have to use those words, but go with that general intention of those words of, oh, okay, so it sounds like you've had a bit of a hard time over these last few months. Let them feel heard. And also, like, it lets them feel heard. That's the start. And then it also invites them, if they want to share more, that they can share more. They can be like, yeah, actually this. You might ask, if you don't feel qualified to help someone, like, that's okay. We're not all qualified to, especially if it is a really heavy situation. But you could ask, what kind of support are you getting for this at the moment? Do you feel like it would be useful to? So kind of prompting. And the last thing I want to touch on is the reminder that regardless of what happens, this can help people. This can help people in huge, huge ways just by feeling heard, especially in a time when we might be feeling more disconnected than otherwise, or people might be feeling more connected than otherwise because we are fortunate enough to have technology. But this is a reminder that we can always check in, and it is always important to check in. However, whatever happens, so that can help people for sure, but then whatever happens, it's not your responsibility on what does happen. Just because you choose to check in doesn't mean you're responsible for saving that person's life. It just means that you're creating more of a connected environment for someone to feel more connected, to feel more heard, and that can make huge shifts. So remember that for yourself as well as the person who might be reaching out, that the level of responsibility isn't on you as to what happens, but as part of a member of what I like to think is still a functioning society, we can still play our role and at least show up and ask, what's going on for you? You could ask, do you need someone to talk to about it? Or, hey, another favorite question of mine, what is it that you feel you need that would make you feel supported? What is it that you need to feel supported in this instance? And that lets them respond. But it's really about just being gentle on ourselves, being gentle on each other, and normalizing having that check-in. I am fortunate enough to be surrounded by people that do that in their own ways. And that makes me feel supported to know that I can go to someone if I need to talk, or if I want to just bounce something off someone. Like, I don't feel alone in that way. And that's the idea of what we're creating. We're attempting to create a world where we don't feel alone, or where hopefully less and less, fewer and fewer people feel alone. And we are attempting to create a world where genuinely checking in and creating space for someone to share if they need to share is a normal thing. So on this Are You Okay Day, know that you don't have to wait till today to ask, but also know that you can definitely use today as a reminder, as a prompt, and there is nothing wrong with that either. And yeah, just create the environment, create the space, but also don't wear it yourself. Don't take on the responsibility that isn't yours either. And make sure that the people you care about know that it's a safe space, and that's all you can do. So I'll leave you with that.